Right, this video is about equivalent fractions. So we've sort of touched on some of these ideas already, but equivalent fractions just means fractions that are the same or represent the same amount. So here's a diagram with different fractions. So you can clearly see if we start with a half is one whole divided into two parts. Now, if we take a look at 4/8, I could divide that up so that we have 1/2. So a half and 4/8 are equivalent fractions. Another example would be looking at a quarter. If I take a look at this one, I can take it and it's divided up into quarters. So 2/8 is the same as 1/4. Just looking now for another equivalent fraction. If we have 1/12, 2/24, as if I can divide this up into 12 squares. So each one of the two rectangles makes a square, and you can see two of those. So 1/12 is equal to 2/24. Now, so that's the only ones that are equivalent fractions. Oh, actually, it's a little bit more difficult to see. 2/4 over here, if I moved shaded in that one, that would be a half. So that means that 2/8, over 4 is equal to a half. If we look down the bottom there, we can make these look the same. So that's, I'm shading in 4 out of the 6, or 8 out of the 12. So those ones would be equivalent as well. So 2/3 equal to 4/6, which is equal to 8/12. So what makes these equivalent? And it's to do with the way these numbers are made up. So you could make 4/8 would be 4 times 1 and 4 times 2. Likewise, 2/4 is 1 times 2 and 2 times 2. So you can see you could make these numbers by multiplying the top and the bottom by the same number. So 4/4 and 2/2. And that works for all of them. So you can see from, if we break them down, you end up getting the fraction times a number by the numerator and the denominator. So that means that if you want to find the equivalent fraction of any number, just times the top of any fraction times the top number and the bottom number by the same amount. So, for instance, if you were wanting an equivalent fraction of 3/7, is that what we could do is take 3/7 and times that by 5, times that by 5. 3 times 5 is 15 over 7 times 5, which is 35. So 15 over 35 is an equivalent fraction of 3/7. The next task I want you to have a go at is looking for equivalent fractions. So you'll see that there's one diagram that's divided up into a number of pieces, and then there's another one that's divided up into more or less pieces. So what you have to do is try and find the same proportion and use that fraction to work. So as an example, we've got the first one, which is divided up into 3, and that there is one side shaded in. Now in the second diagram, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different segments. So roughly if I shade in one shape, that's going to be too small. If I shade in another shape, it doesn't really look the same. If I shade in a third shape, that looks about right. So using that, it's going to be 9 in total and 3. So 1/3 and 3/9 are equivalent fractions. Pause the video and have a go at that in your own books. Okay, hopefully you had a go at completing the rest of those questions. Here are the answers. So 1/3 is the same as 3/9. 3/9. 1/4 is the same as 3/12. 2/3 is the same as 8/4. 3/4 is equal to 9/12, and 1/2 is equal to 5/10. Okay, so well done if you got those answers correct. Last task, another task for you to have a go at, is all I want you to do is match the letters, the numbers with the letters. You could do just the answers in your book. Obviously, there could be more than one answer. So I'll start off with the fraction here. So we've got 1, 2, so that's obviously 1/2. So 1 matches up with 2/4. All right, you can do the rest. Now pause and complete in your book, and then come back to look at the answers. Okay, hopefully you've paused the video. Let's take a look at the answers. So there they are. That's one possible answer. There's a number of possible answers because if I just circle, so we've got 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, and all the rest are, oh, and there's 1/2 as well. All the rest are 1/3, so you could have used multiple answers there. So it's more than likely you've got something slightly different from me. The last thing, of course, is being able to simplify fractions. We've got a fraction there, 21/56, which we're going to have a go at simplifying. This is really easy. There's not too many steps. So grab your calculator and then we'll have a go at it. So with your calculator, first thing we need to do is press the double box, and you simply just put it in as normal. So 21, press down, 56, and then you press equals, and we get 3/8, and that's it. If you've got the other calculator, so using the other calculator, what you need to do is obviously go to menu, press 1 or find it, and then the keys are easy enough. So 2, 1, ABC, 56, execute, and you can see it gives you 3/8 straight away. So what you can do now is there's a worksheet for you to complete. You need to complete that now.